Our motoring tip of the week concerns fuel, and we're going to throw in a couple of snowblower tips as well. Now, you hear the oil companies talk about winter blends of fuel and what they do specifically for the winter time. Now, one of the things they do is add in some gasoline antifreeze, but also they blend butane in with the fuel. Now, butane lights off at a very low temperature, so an internal combustion engine is able to start in sub-zero temps quite easily. Without that butane, you'd have a heck of a time getting the engine started when the ambient gets really low. Now, we just kind of take that for granted because they seasonally adjust these gases all year round. And with a car, it's never an issue because you're consuming the fuel in the tank quickly enough that the fuel you have in the tank is always current with the current ambient. But for a small engine like this, particularly a snowblower, you can be way out of sync with your fuel versus the ambient. For example, if the gas in your jerry can in the garage was purchased late summer, it may have no butane blended in with it. And if you dump it in the snowblower, even though it's not enough months aged that it's going to be gummed up or a problem in that respect, it doesn't have the butane in it, so your snowblower won't start readily. So it's very important to make sure that the gas that's in your jerry can that you're putting in a machine like this is current. And I always keep a tag on my jerry can, and I write down the date and what particular fuel I've got in there. Now, most small engine manufacturers that produce engines for these blowers have an easy provision underneath the carburetor for draining the float bowl of the carb. You can also drain the fuel tank completely, get rid of that old gas, and put in some fresh gas. That's always a great place to start. Also, it's important on many small engines to have a fuel that does not contain ethanol, so that's Shell V-Power. I've always made that recommendation. You also want to make sure that you're changing the oil in these machines on a regular basis, and once a year is absolutely the norm, what you want to do. There's less than a liter of oil keeping that engine alive, so you want to make sure that it's full, clean, and current. Do your maintenance on your snowblower, and you're going to have easy starting. That's your motoring tip of the week.